gone past 6 o'clock. We'll make a start. Yes?
Thank you, Chair. If I may be allowed to interject before we start the business, we would like to express our great congratulations at your recent elevation into the medalhood. So, congratulations, very, very well deserved. Well done.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much, Chief Whip. That's really very kind of you. And it's been a very pleasant and special moment for my family, especially for my mum. She's absolutely delighted. So thank you to everybody. And obviously it's for Oldham. Okay, I'm the recipient, but I've only got it because of the work that I do here, and I don't do that work. We do it collectively as a team. So thanks to everyone for your support. Really appreciate it.
Does that mean we can all have a turn wearing it then?
Absolutely. If that's what you want, Chief Whip, I'm more than happy. I'll ask Her Majesty, can I give it to you to wear for a day? And I'm sure she will be obliging when she finds out it's you. So I'm absolutely fine with that. Listen, before we start the meeting and do the formal agenda items, can we please stand in silence for a minute to show our respect to the victims of various events, sad events that's happened recently. So can I please ask all of you to stand to observe a minute of silence? Thank you. Okay, so item 1 then, apologies for absence. Obviously, Leader, she's away on leave. Councillor Stratton. Anybody else? Carolyn? Carolyn Wilkin?
Oh, yeah, Carolyn Wilkin. She's not a part of the cabinet. Yeah.
All right, okay. Thank you for that. Urgent business? There are none. Item 3 then, declaration of interest. Anybody? No, thank you. Item 4, public question. We've not received any, have we? Thank you for that. Item 5, minutes of previous meeting. They're on pages 1 to 4. Can we accept them as a true record? Right, thank you. Item 6 then is the corporate plan, pages 5 to 36. So basically, this is a refresh to ensure that the corporate plan is in line with the Oldham plan, which is obviously a partnership document across all the different partners that we work with. But also, the refresh includes the current administration's priorities. I think in terms of cabinet members, all of you seen this document and have actually inputted into the different parts. So we've got the final version, and what's been asked is that we approve it or endorse it for it to go to the next full council meeting on the 12th of July for approval. So I'm happy to take any questions from members before we approve the recommendation. Any comments, anyone? Are we happy to accept the recommendation of the report that it goes to the council meeting on the 12th? Okay. Thank you for that. So then the next item is item 7. That's the Eastern Gateway and Princess Gate at Mumps development. Again, this is leaders, so in her absence, I'm delighted to take this report. I think one of the great thing about this is that on the back of the award-winning scheme that we did at the Old Town Hall, we are carrying on the regeneration of Oldham, and this is another major scheme where we're looking to bring in quality retailer into the borough, and also hoteliers. So what this is doing is actually looking at the site A and site B of the overall scheme, and there's a detailed report in the close part of the meeting, and the reason for that is obviously there are a very sensitive commercial information that we need to discuss in private. So, I mean, I'm just so delighted that we've got the scheme to be progressed, and I think it sends a very clear message that Oldham Council is a pro-council business, pro-business council. I said that wrong way around. Pro-business council. And I think what we're trying to do with this is to create the right environment for businesses to come into Oldham and actually invest. So if there are any questions on the open part of the report, then can I please take those before we go on to the recommendation? Are there any comments, any questions? Everyone happy with that? Okay. So we note this report and then we'll deal with the recommendations in the private part. Thank you. Thank you for that. The next item is item 8, Contract Award Integrated Community Equipment Service. Councillor Harrison, is there anything you'd like to add to the report?
Just to ask Cabinet's approval that the contract for the Integrated Community Care Equipment Service be awarded to Ross Engineering, or Ross Care as they're better known. They've served us well in the past, and this is a joint contract, if Cabinet agrees, with Tameside, and also involves the CCGs and so forth. Covers things like prescribing of community equipment, beds, and kind of things that help people to remain independent, often keep them out of hospital, help earlier discharge from hospital, and we will be able to benefit from the scale of the operation without having to pool budgets. Oldham will only pay for what it uses. So I would recommend the acceptance or the agreement on this,
Okay.
Chair.
Thanks, Jenny. Any question from anyone? Can we approve the recommendation set out on page 43 of this report?
If I
Thank
could
you.
just add, Chair, it has gone through the usual very robust tendering and procurement process, and Ross Care scored considerably higher than the other tenders.
That's good. Thank you. So we just need to agree the recommendation on page 43. Everyone happy with that? Thank you. Item 9 then is Children's Social Services Redesign Phase 2. Councillor Harrison, it's yours again, that one.
Yes, Chair, thank you. In May 2017, the LGA reported nationally that there'd been an unprecedented demand for children's social care services, and reports that by 2020 there'll be an estimated funding gap of £2 billion. So in line with the national issue, Oldham's Children's Services has seen a significant increase in demand over the last 12 months, and even more so since November last year. So this has placed undue pressure on the capacity of the service as was to respond effectively. So in November last year, approval was given to recruit to service managers and principal social worker. However, it was also deemed necessary that the service would need to undertake further work to fully understand the workforce requirements at team and manager level, team manager and below. So this report now sets out the detail of the capacity required to ensure the service can respond accordingly and in a timely way to meet the needs of Oldham children who require social care information. So I would urge Cabinet to agree the recommendations in this report.
And there's also a part 2 in the private
Yes, there's
section as well.
we'll go
Right,
into more
okay.
detail
Thank you, Jenny,
then.
for that. Is there any comments, question on that? Yes.
Sorry.
I just think it's really important, excuse me, really important that we do this. I mean, it's a real concern, and I know we've had problems of retaining experienced staff because clearly there's such competition for social workers at the moment. So I think it's really right that we've stepped up and done this regrade so we can make sure that we've got enough professional staff to look after our children. It's really, so it's odd when we have no money, but it's really something that we have to do. We have no choice.
I'm pleased you come in there, Councillor Brownish, because I think, yes, money is a big issue for all councils, especially here at Oldham Council. But when it comes to looking after young people, we've no option. We have to make sure that we are looking after their well-being and their welfare. So I'm really pleased that Jenny, you and your team have actually come up with this. Just in terms of central government finance, there's been a lot of talk about austerity being ended. So I just hope that it happens. I don't know whether it will happen or not, but I hope it will happen. And if it does, hopefully things like that will be a lot easier to deal with at a local level than it has been in the past. So can we accept the recommendation on page 49, please? Thank you. Item 10 then is Oasis Academy, a dining room amendment to increase pupil number. Amanda Charlton, Councillor.
The papers is asking for approval to proceed to tender to carry out capital works at Oasis Academy in Hollingwood. It will be funded, £575,000 that's going to cost will come out of our basic need funding. And essentially what it is, at the moment, the Oasis pupil admission number is 240. From this September that increases to 300, and it's likely it will increase to 330 pupils per year in light of the primary bulge moving into the secondary, and we need those secondary places. However, the current dining situation at Oasis means that at the moment only 260 pupils at any one time can have their dinner. So what I'm seeking to do is for the £570,000, they will do work and essentially double in size. That's all.
Thank you. Any comment, anybody? And there's a part B as well as in there, Amanda. For that. Okay, thank you. So can we accept the recommendation on page 59, please? Thank you. Item 11 then is the quarterly council performance report, which looks at the period January to March 2017. Is there anything, Helen, you wanted to say following the ONS meeting?
No, I mean I think the direction of travel is really positive, as highlighted in the report, and the report is a well-established format that members are familiar with. So it's it's just a review at this stage, and we're in the first quarter, and understanding some of the highlights going forward.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Any comments? Seems to be very well laid out, and you can sort of get a very accurate picture of what's happening by looking at some of the pictorial diagrams we've got here. So thank you. We've been asked to note the report. Are we all in agreement with that? Thank you. Item 12 then is exclusion of press and public. So if you're not an officer or a member of the council,